You know, home of Concord Rangers with Bray. Alex, a bit of a bittersweet one for yourself, mate. First goal of the season, great finish from yourself at the back post. Clear man of the match as well, 3-1 on the panel today. But unfortunately it came at the expense of a 3-1 defeat.
Yes, obviously like you said, bittersweet, and for me it's more about the result. I thought first half we weren't good enough, we probably deserved to be 1-0 down. I thought their big man caused us problems. And when he came off, when it was 1-0, I thought, okay, we're going to be on top here. And it's one of those things. We spoke about it in there. We had chances, 1-0. And then when we don't finish them, you're waiting for something to happen. And you could say handball and all that, but we just shouldn't be put in those positions where they can go through and score goals like that. It's just too easy.
I suppose it's very easy sometimes, given the standard of officiating. We don't like to comment on it much, but you are right, we had chances just before that. One for yourself, a good work down the right hand side that saw Harry Parsons go in. They seemed to get some sort of challenge on it. Keeper's made a save, ball's come back to Greenslade flashed it, everything he's done right, and it's going goal bound, and Minter's put a hand on it again, right at the death, just before they've gone down and scored their second goal. Harry Parsons inside the 6-yard box, and somehow the keeper's come out of nowhere to put some sort of strong hand on it. I suppose as a player, sometimes you've got to put your hands up and say, fair play, mate.
Yeah, one of them, sometimes it doesn't go for you, but it's happened too many times the last 3 games, and the boys will tell you themselves it's not good enough. We've got to finish our chances. At this level, it's so cutthroat where you do miss a chance, no one's going to be coming straight back at you, and if they finish it, goals change games. And like you've seen today, as soon as they got their second, they were on top. So
bit of a difficult one to take, obviously, given the nature of the last 3 games. Tonbridge, Hemel, and now Concord. I suppose if we were really looking at it with a critical eye and saying, if you're looking at teams that could get points out of, this probably would have been one that you guys in the dressing room would have earmarked down for a potential 9. As it goes, we're coming away with 0, with a massive game on the horizon now. I suppose it's going to be a real character building experience for you boys in the dressing room, the management, and of course all of the guys that are around backstage to try and drag the boys out of, unfortunately, what has been a disappointing game today, and get you prepped now for arguably the biggest game of some of you boys' careers on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a great occasion for the club and players. It's the biggest game probably in Chippenham's history, as in playing the highest they've played. And a touch on the games we should win. I think at this level every game's hard. It could be Ebbsfleet, it could be the Concords. For me, whoever turns up on the day is going to win. And like I said, there's no easy games at this level, and I think the coach, all the players will say that. But yeah, the FA Cup game is it's a sort of a rest from the league, which is probably good for us right now. We've got a good week to prepare for it, and you know what, I think at home anything can happen. I'm confident. The lads are still positive in there because we're creating chances. That's not the issue, and sometimes games go like that. We've all had moments in our careers where we've lost a few on the bounce, but it's how we bounce back. And I think there's enough in that changing room. And you've seen little bits today. We weren't at our best, but we still created some really good chances. And I think once those sort of little flicks and those sort of things come off for us, we'll do a team 4-5-0.
Talk us through your goal, because obviously we don't want to be all doom and gloom. It's obviously a situation where it's tough to take when you big defeats on the road like this. But your goal was a very well worked move. You started with Richards strolling out from the back, quick interchange down the right hand side, which I believe you were involved in. Ball goes back across to the left hand side. Good play through the middle again, and suddenly the ball's ended up at the feet of Greenslade as it's been stabbed through from Russ. First time cross, first time finish. We actually thought it had gone wide because we were over there in the stand, and it was only when we saw the net ripple and you wheeling away that we thought that's a hell of a goal. It's got to be a great feeling for yourself after we said on commentary with you that have been around the game for so long and dogged by injuries over the last season and a half, to come back into the side playing on that preferential right wing, which is kind of where you've always wanted to be. Stepping back in and getting a goal like that, great feeling. Yeah,
exactly. And I think credit to the lads, because for me, I probably had the easiest job out of all of them to put it in. Credit to Harvey, he's put it on a plate for me, and he doesn't get enough credit he deserves sometimes, because I think he runs all day. He's a problem for full-backs. And to be fair, Org said to me before the game, he said get onto the back post as much as he can, and that's what I did. And one of them, luckily, I've kept it down and it's at the back of the net. So yeah, I'm really happy to get a goal this season, and hopefully first of many.
Take Lincoln out of the equation because they're a bit of an anomaly. We know obviously what we're up against on Saturday. It's a 3-8 against a League One side, but we're not expected to do too much against. Last time we had a side like that down, we 3-0 half time, game was done, and we saw it out to the death. But you know, take Saturday out of the equation. We got a Tuesday game following that away at Cheshunt. We've still got teams in the league now that we're playing, these guys that are in and around the sort of the proverbial drop zone. We've played a couple that are going to find themselves, you know, in the mix, you know, of that fight over the last couple of weeks. How important is it, Alex, now to try and sort of not just refocus, but to sort of, you know, keep the league with all the excitement going on with the FA Cup and all the pomp and circumstance that comes with that? No doubt going to be playing in front of about 2,500 fans at home against a big side, but knowing that, you know, the league's kind of that, you know, sleeping in the background, waiting to beat, and knowing that you've got to go to places like Cheshunt now, and to avoid getting into that fight yourself, you really got to start picking up a few in the league. Yeah, exactly. And I think, like I sort of touched on earlier, I think this is a nice sort of break from the league. It's to sort of go back to basics, do the things we're good at, and hopefully we can show it at Lincoln, and then we can sort of bring that into, like you said, Chestnut and all those teams. But every game's tough, and every game's a different challenge. And I'll say it again, I think this group we've got is really, really good. A lot of really good players. And I think, like I said, once it clicks, I think we're going to be a real handful in the league. I think somebody mentioned earlier on, just as we were over there, 2 defeats, a defeat again today, 3 in a row in the league. Yeah. It would just be so typically Chippenham to go and get something now out of the game against Lincoln. Yeah. So I suppose really the obvious question being about Lincoln on Saturday, are you looking forward to going up to Lincoln on the replay for Tuesday if we can get a draw out of the game? Or more importantly, when we do beat them, who do you fancy in the second round? Oh, so round 2, the championship teams come into it? When is it? Okay, so for me, I like a nice local one, to be fair. So I like the Swindons, the Rovers, all of them. But I wouldn't mind going to Portsmouth, somewhere like that, a nice derby. And well, I'll just take a win at this point. I don't look too far ahead. But yeah, we've got to work out. We know what they're going to be like. They're going to be obviously a very talented team, but we just got to work harder, simple as that. Difficult game for them on Tuesday. They've got Bristol City in the Carabao Cup, I think, really? Which they're going to want to do well in. Yeah. Sides like Bristol City and Lincoln, it's a good chance for them to get through and earn a bit of money in their own sort of in their own winnable cup. Yeah. For them, so they'll play a lot of Prem reserve teams. Rumours sort of emanating out of Lincoln that they're not going to treat the game as a cakewalk. They're going to put a good side out. I suppose really for you boys as ex-pros and pros on the way up, and obviously a good mixture of that. Yeah. This is now your opportunity to put yourself in that position where you're testing yourself against the very best in the business. Yeah, and you probably look at our team. There's a lot of players, including myself, that have played in the Football League. We know the standard, and we know how far away we are. We're not too far. I know it's 3 leagues difference, but really whoever wants it on the day is probably going to get the win, and that's how we sort of see it. There's a lot of quality in our change room, a lot of experience as well, so I think we're positive, and like I said, at home I think we've got a chance. Good stuff. Well, Alex, man on the match today, got your goal as well, which is absolutely fantastic. It's great to see you back doing your thing, mate, and the next time we see you will be on Saturday, the big game against Lincoln. All the very best from all of us at Blue Army TV, mate, and hope it goes well for you. Cheers, boy. Joining us here at the Aspect Arena, home of Concord Rangers. Unfortunately, it's a poor result for Chippenham on the road today, but a real positive in front of us here. We sat there last week against Hemel and welcome back Harrison Minturn, one of the most important lads that we had in from Swindon last year. And joining us here, making his second debut for Chippenham, Harry Parsons. We've got you back until, I believe, January, and it's great to see you back in the blue, young man.
It's good to be back. You know, when I heard the interest was here, I'll come back to be playing. That's all I want to be doing. I want to help these out, I want to help myself out, and I think here was the best opportunity for me to do that.
Obviously you've had a little bit of a stint already in the league so far this season, but it was the National League North, went away to Banbury for a bit, scored a few goals there, and now obviously come back to Swindon, and they've rolled you back out to us. For all of us, we know what you're about. I think something like 5 goals in 8 appearances last time you were with us, including a famous hat-trick against Dorking in a rather good win. Today worked absolutely tirelessly up there, and for all your hard work, nearly got the reward right at the end there, and if it weren't for the fact that Melvin Minter's put an absolute worldie save down, you've scored the equalising goal.
Look, it flashed at me. Oops. So I got a toe to it, and look, it's a good save. It's a very good save. I mean, I thought it was going in, and he just got his hand to it or something.
I suppose at some level, especially with a lad of your experience that have played in the Football League and have had a really, really good time of it at Swindon, you sometimes got to hold your hand up and say, fair play to yourself, mate, because you couldn't have done anything different there.
I mean, on another day that goes in probably, different keeper, maybe even next time that probably goes in, but on a positive, like we created the chances. I mean, Harvey could have had one a few minutes before when one of their players went down. We were dominating the game, and that kind of killed the game. And then they got back into the game. It's just the momentum kind of changed at that point, and that was 1-1. So I mean, it's one of them ones where take it on the chin, and I think next time we score them goals.
So for yourself, Harry, you've come back just in time, obviously for the big one. I'm not sure, obviously, how Swindon are going to be fixed to letting you play in the FA Cup. Have they given you any indication of whether you'll be allowed to play on Saturday or not?
Yeah, they've said let me play, so that's positive for me, and obviously Swindon let me play is helped me out.
So I suppose another big FA Cup moment to add to your already existing big FA Cup moment. I think a lot of Chippenham fans will remember when you went back to Swindon after the recall, came off the bench, I think around sort of the 70th minute, wasn't it, against some little team. I can't remember who they are. Guardiola managers, Man City or something like that.
It's good experience, great experience. Obviously, it's good to be here. I was scoring goals and then obviously got recalled, and it was a positive to come on in that game. I didn't even know that I was going to till the day before that I would have been recalled. So it was a good surprise and great achievement.
I suppose it's a good feature for you guys. I mean, the relationship with ourselves and Swindon has always been fairly strong. We've had the likes of yourself, Minnow, Aguiar, we've had Bray here. We'll continue to take their players and develop them as best they can. But a real sort of hat tip to the work that's been going on down here with Cookie and now Hawks and Chippenham as a football club. That out of the 4 lads that have played for Swindon and Chippenham last season, I think 3 out of 4. I don't think only Bray didn't make a start in the league, did he?
Yeah, it's a huge positive. Obviously, we've all made starts in the league and the cups, and that's a good improvement for us coming here and then doing well here and then getting our chance with Swindon. And obviously, that's what everyone asks for. If you're not playing, then to come to Chippenham is good, because I don't want to be sat doing nothing there and be wasting my time when I can be here playing, helping myself out, helping the club out, obviously, and helping Swindon out, because that way they get to see me play and they could see me doing well here.
It's a bit of a tough one for you, isn't it, Parsons? You're a player that definitely wears it all on his sleeve and puts it all out there. You can see visibly in yourself when you're happy or unhappy with your performance, but a man that, despite only coming in on loan, clearly quite passionate about the football club and quite passionate about the work that's being done down here and wanting to help the boys and get that situation done. I think on any other day, you've come up with a couple of goals there today, and unfortunately it's not quite come out. But Lincoln City next on the horizon. It's a bit more, I suppose, your pace playing against these sides of a league football quality, and I'm sure you'll be absolutely knocking Gary's door down to make the start on Saturday.
Yeah, obviously everyone wants to be starting in games like that. Obviously they're in the league, and I want to be starting, and hopefully can get a goal that day. I mean, was unlucky not to get a few today, and it happens. That's only my first 90 minutes in a couple months, so I've been playing 60 here, 60 there, but it's good to get the 90 under my belt, and hopefully I'll start kicking on, and I'll get fitter and fitter.
Good stuff. Well, from all of us here at Blue Army TV, all of the Chippenham supporters, I can certainly speak for them, for the vast majority of us, when I say welcome back, Harry. Unfortunately, 3-1 defeat today to Concord. It wasn't quite to be, but let's hope those goals start rolling in very soon. If we can start on Saturday, that'd be absolutely ideal.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. Cheers, Harry.